Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, Queen.
Do you remember your name?
Do I remember? No, I don't. What is it?
I just saw your post. It's like, join me, Barbara.
I know. I know. I was like, okay, where am I at?
It's a good day when you forget your name.
Yeah, well, you know what? As long as they got that, they should be here watching Help Heal Humanity. I don't care. They could call me Bugs Bunny for all I care. I just want them to see the show tonight, right?
That's right. And every Thursday night, when thanks to you, Barbara, and E360 TV for gifting Help Heal Humanity with the podcast, making it possible, and for being so considerate of all the good people in the world doing charity work, and also shedding light on those people. So for those of you who don't know, thanks to Barbara again and E360 TV, the first half of the show is Help Heal Humanity, where we interview boards of directors, managers, workers, volunteers. And then the second half of the show, we shed light on other charities around the world doing phenomenal work. And, you know, I know from the short time that we've been doing this podcast, every week when we have that charity on the other end of the show, I learn so much. Like, I'm learning so much about the states and the different, you know, all the different states and what is needed most in, you know, each particular state and the services they offer. So this has been like an educational, teachable podcast for myself and hopefully for all the viewers watching. So
Me too. So the wonderful thing about it is, just let everybody know, this is always on replay. So even if you miss us live, you can always look at it on Help Heal Humanity YouTube channel and in other places. But just to let people know, you know, go to the YouTube channel. We got some good things there for Help Heal Humanity. So with that said, I miss you. That said, we're going to bring on one of our awesome volunteers, queens of Help Heal Humanity. And like we said, we want to really get to know more of who's doing that grunt work, that work. So let's bring up Miss Kim.
Hello. Yes, hello. This is delightful. I'm so happy to be here.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm really well. Yeah, and this is exciting. I mean, when I got the opportunity, I thought, well, geez, I'm not that savvy, and I don't know what I have to offer. But you know, if you can, if I can offer anything, my insight, my experience with HHH, then boy, oh boy, I'm happy to do it. Spread the word. So I'm just really happy to be here, meet you, Barbara. And see you, Serena. I haven't seen you for a while.
I know I haven't seen you in a while. I did see you a couple weeks ago walking down the street, but I'm really excited to see you here today. And maybe before we get into your story, I can just let our audience know a little bit of what I know of you. And so as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but the one thing I saw from Kim on the very first day that I met you is like, this woman is the healthiest woman I think I've ever met. the best in shape woman I've ever met. She has more energy than, you know, most of our volunteers, and just her passion to serve, you know, her passion to come, especially during the pandemic, show up to our warehouses, show up to our feeding programs, give her time, give her energy, promote who we are, connect us with other people in need. And so that's why when we were creating a list of some of the people to invite to our podcast, Kim, you immediately came to mind because you are one of those people who are so trustworthy, so reliable, and just so incredible. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about you and how you found HHH. But first, talk about you, and then how that transitioned into finding HHH.
Well, I've always been sort of in the health and wellness provision field throughout my career in various manifestations of that, primarily working with some of the more marginalized communities. I've spent a lot of time in downtown Hamilton. I worked for the Y for 17 years. I worked with a lot of their programs. At some point along that journey, I decided to dedicate myself a little bit more to yoga. And I think probably I can credit being involved in the yoga community with actually finding you, Serena, through mutual friends and, you know, word of mouth. And it wasn't hard to hear because your voice is loud and strong, and it should be. And so through friends who said, hey, here's an opportunity. This looks like something we could definitely do. I kind of landed figuratively and literally on the doorstep when things were hitting, you know, high gear with our accumulation of donations and that sort of thing. So yeah, I guess just and really, like, the practice of yoga, one of the most important things in that whole aspect, that lifestyle, is to serve. So if I'm true to what I've learned, what I've studied, and what I really honor, then this is just a no-brainer, and it just feels so darn good.
Oh, you see, this is why I love her. So I don't know, do you guys hear it, or is it just me? Do you hear a little crackle in the speakers or in the audio?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think, Kim, you're a little staticky. I don't know if you're on your head plugs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
What if I can shift this a little bit? I'll be honest with you. My Mac here was giving me grief today, and so I panicked a little bit. And at the last minute, I'm calling you up on my phone, so that might be the problem. I know that's a no-no.
Oh,
is that any better? No, still crackly.
say something.
Is the audio any better?
No.
It's still. I was just going to keep it rolling. Yeah.
We'll just try to be really clear.
No, you're not that bad. We can hear you. It's just a little static. So yeah, I mean, I want to pivot off that because for the viewers who aren't aware, Help Heal Humanity has an extension of Yoga for Humanity. And I am deeply rooted in yoga and in meditation and mindfulness, which I think is my saving grace in the world. To be honest, I tell everyone it's my medicine. And I know everybody has a different form of medicine, but for me, it was yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. And so I started to take that on quite seriously. And then I got connected to a lot of yoga communities. And in particular, when I was living in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, I started doing yoga at a studio downtown Hamilton, and there was a mutual friend named Antoinette. And I soon we'll have Antoinette on the show. And when she comes on the show, what this woman, she's an educator, she's a yogi, she does kids yoga, she does mindfulness, meditation, she's opened up her own studio, she does fitness. I mean, this woman, we're like soul sisters. We do very much the similar work. So when I just told her about the work that we were doing, that's somebody who hears what you say, doesn't really contact you, and just flies with it. Mm-hmm. And before I knew it, Antoinette was putting together, like, literally, she was putting together a yoga event, like a community class to raise funds. And then a few ladies showed up, and from that community class, they sponsored a student. And then some of the ladies that attended that were more interested. And then she I think with your help, she created an entire Christmas Day event
That's
Oh.
right.
in the
She
whole
did.
city where it was for women, it was local shopping. So she got everybody in the community to have a day of shopping for the women to do their Christmas shopping, and all the stores committed to like 15 to 20% of sales going back to HHH. Then
Wow.
after a full day of shopping, we went back to the yoga studio. We did an incredible yoga class. And then after the yoga class, she had caterers come in and again, by donation, donate a whole bunch of food. And, and then I gave a speech then. And of course, Kim was there and Kim was helping. And then Kim was like, I really want to help. And then again, blown away by how Antoinette and Kim took on HHH into their studios, into their families, into the communities, and started collecting hundreds of pounds of donations for us.
Wow.
And when I mean hundreds of pounds, these ladies were arranging pickups, drop-offs, putting out messages, putting out messages to their people, and all of their people and all of their community were coming together. And Antoinette and Kim used to show up like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh God, right? Kim
That's
gets
what I'm
up at
talking
like
about.
4 in the morning or something like that. Right?
That's
Get
the
it done.
picture.
Get it done. I'm telling you. It
And,
was amazing.
and the amount of donations they would bring into our warehouse were literally insanity. I have pictures and videos. I wish, we could stop for a minute and show them, but I don't
Yeah,
have
we
them
have to
on
get
me.
those. I said we're going to get those pictures because that's amazing, Kim.
And
Wonderful.
then I was like, so not only that, but then Kim and Antoinette are like organizers, right? Like they saw the amount of donations they were bringing into the warehouse and they saw the chaos of the warehouse. And then these two ladies proceeded to get volunteers to come for days on end and organize and sort all of our donations. Like the amount of work that you have done out of the goodness of your heart for Help Heal Humanity, with the amount of collections, donations, community gatherings, yoga, promo, like that's why I was so excited to see you here. Like,
Aw.
because you do it faithfully, you do it strong, you do it between. She's like, okay, I'll come at 6 a.m. I was like, can you come at 7? She's like, no, I got to be somewhere else at 7:30. I'm like, okay, So maybe, like what makes you want to do that and do that just like
Yeah.
so selflessly, sorry, and just like you got to.
I'm so inspired by you personally and what you have accomplished and your story, and it never gets old. I mean, I can hear it over and over again. It blows me away, and to think that I could have some small part in aiding and helping in that situation, and I'm open to that anytime, because honestly, it feels, I think I get a lot more from it myself. It's a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I enjoy pitching in. If people, my message, I guess, if anybody, for who is watching, and hopefully thousands and thousands of people are watching, just try, because you will be so blown away by how it makes you feel. Just pitch in, make the effort, stick to it, and you're so rewarded. But it's just getting people to try the first time, just to get the bug, of how you can help. It's easy.
So Kim, I'm sitting here just I'm in the background like, yes, Kim, yes, because I feel the same way. I feel the same way like you feel. And that's what I got so, caught up with. First, Serena, like you said, of course, I can hear their story over and over again when I go to sleep and wake up. But then just all of us, and what I love, Kim, and well, Serena too, you're here, is that we come together and with our passion, our hearts out there. That's why it's so easy for you to get up at 4 or 5, 6 o'clock and do whatever. That's why it's so easy for us to come on shows and do this, because it's not just, it's driven because of passion that we have in our hearts for people to help, people out there. So Kim, I give you so much kudos. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I enjoy it. When's the next opportunity?
I'll be honest. Right now, I'm in the USA. I'm in Baltimore, thanks to our incredible president, and because of Alexandra, she has set up the next 2 weeks of service work, and you would love this, Kim, because she's gone back to her alumni, and we're created a summer school program just based on service, right? So that we can start to inspire the young generation to be the future, service workers, light workers, and healers in the world. And this is something that I can't wait to bring, back home with us and get it in the schools here. And I know that if we get it in the schools back home, I know someone like you will come in and do that component on mindfulness, on yoga, healing, meditation.
You got it. You got it. I would absolutely be thrilled to do that. 100%. This whole concept of getting our youth at that tender age to embrace this idea of service and good mental health by way of like reaching out and taking part and getting involved and seeing where there's a need, not asking, just looking for it and going after it. If we get it in the schools, as you say, and we get parents thinking about, educating their kids that way, about, helping, then, I really think it's a positive direction. And I love that idea. I think that's sensational.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're starting them off early instead of waiting to, because when they get it early, they're going to be fireballs. I mean, they're going to be out there.
I'm telling you, ladies, these girls are 14, 15, 16 years old. We started posting, yesterday and today, and we'll continue posting throughout the next couple weeks. When we sat in the morning circle doing a reflection, my mouth dropped. Like I was so shocked and amazed by their responses and their level of insight and just how aware they are and consciously like driven for change. I was like, listen, I love changing and saving the world, but at 15, 16 years old, I was definitely not thinking about that.
That's it, right? For sure.
That's why I'm so glad we're starting early, because like you said, 15, 16, I'm sorry, but I wasn't thinking about that.
Right.
I was just thinking about getting through high school. But
isn't that wonderful though, to think, I mean, we can be as cynical as we want about the world, the way of the world now, but I think if we really take a good hard look at our youth, they're getting messages and they're wanting something different, and they're ready to embrace that and go forward, and they're strong. Like you, I kind of put my ear to it and I see the change, and I think I even look at my own little grandson and, he's more mindful than his daddy was at that time. So yeah. This is good stuff. Really good stuff.
It is. And Kim, we gotta reel in Antoinette. I know Antoinette would do anything and everything for HHH. And
Absolutely.
Again, I met you through Antoinette. So that just, these are the type of people and the women and like the community that has been built. So we got to do another yoga event when I come back into town.
Yes, please. Yes, let's do it. Yes.
And you two are going to get me into yoga.
Come on, Barbara.
I've been listening to Serena talk about yoga. I know HHH do the yoga part. You know what? I think you sold me. I think I'm going to be doing some yoga.
All
so
right.
I need you two to be my mentor.
All right. You got it.
You owned a yoga studio, correct, Kim?
Yes, I did. Yes. In central Hamilton at the cotton factory. And it was just my absolute happy place. Unfortunately, during, those 2 years where things were difficult, I think that industry kind of took a bit of a hit, and anyway, I wasn't able to hang on to it, but I didn't I didn't let it stop me.
Do yoga Zoom. Do yoga Zoom. You can start it all over again on yoga.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was fortunate enough to get a job at Region Health on Lock Street, Serena. So I'm working there in their studio. And who knows? Maybe another studio. If the universe wants me to have another one, it'll happen. But I'm happy. I'm just providing yoga. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you want to get online, I'll be your first customer.
All right. That sounds great. I might hold you to that, Barbara.
And I might actually come and take a class, and maybe we can pitch to your new studio to do a community class for us.
Ooh, well, now you're talking. I got the wheels turning now. That sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah, look at me. She's always going to pull it in. She got the ideas. They be popping.
And it's really true. Like I said, I'm not going to say that volunteers aren't amazing, but you know, when you find those hidden gems, I know that at any given moment, if I were to text Kim and say, "Hey Kim, can you come? Can you do this event?" Whatever it is, you know, you're so special, Kim, and I really appreciate your heart and your spirit and your willingness to give. And it's just not you giving yourself. You pull community together to help the charity. And I'm just so grateful to you, and I appreciate you. And I think everyone at Help Heal Humanity really, you know, admire volunteers such as yourself. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And hey, I will get on those owners at Regent. We can do something for sure. I won't forget.
Yes.
Regent. We'll get something going next time the opportunity when you're around, and just reach out to me because they're a young bunch of doctors there and they're fantastic. So let's do it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Great. Yeah. Well, Kim, don't leave just yet, because what we usually do for our guests is that we always ask for like maybe a 30-second, just something, some wisdom, something that you want to leave with the audience, you know, just coming from your heart. But me and Serena goes down for 30 seconds, but we'll be right back up. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hi, Kim. You can start now.
Okay. My message to everyone out there is, if you have considered doing some community volunteer work, making a difference, don't wait. Don't question. Just jump on it and go for it and find it. Find what it is that is in need, and just go headlong in, because you will be rewarded in some amazing and remarkable ways. And spread the word. Help. Reach out. It's all good stuff. And so love.
It is, and you are love, and you radiate love. And again, thank you so much, Kim. And you know, you are saying the message that we keep saying to people, is that in helping others, we, the giver, get a lot more out of it than the receiver. And I don't think, like you said, people know that until they go out there, and that becomes such an uplifting, rewarding experience. And so if we can give people more of those experiences, then, you know, I keep saying we can change the world just based on kindness. So thank you for, you know, giving your message. We love you. We thank you. And I will be back home soon. And I promise you, I'm going to text you, and I'm going to come and meet you, and we're going to go for a walk.
All right.
Talk yoga.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then don't forget me. Don't forget me. The I need a munching yoga.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity, and it's just been an absolute delight.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
See you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, you know, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us, because we're the one little bit of hope that they have, to have a warm meal in their bellies, and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Bufalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
You know, every time I see that video, I just want to cry. I really do. I mean, not for sadness, but just seeing that such a need is out there and how Help Humanity and everybody around that organization is just loving on people and, caring. So I don't know. I just can't give you enough hearts, Serena. I really can't. I mean,
It's not me. It's you. It's Alex. It's Christopher. It's Lauren. It's not just me. I'm
everybody.
absolutely nothing without.
But you started. You like the little, that little choo choo. You're the front. Like, and we're kind of just like moving with you.
Oh goodness, Barbara. We did an improv session yesterday with Katie. Oh, I'm gonna forget her last name. I'm gonna post it later.
Okay.
This woman came into our summer program thanks to Alex's connection. And man, she flipped the energy upside down and had us doing the wildest, craziest things. And for me to even be like, whoa, that was crazy. Right now, when you were like, woo, I was like, it reminded me of what we were doing yesterday.
Don't get me started. I'll go there. I'll be with her.
Right? Yeah, that's what happened, right? We would just look at her and then we got sillier and sillier. And so like that, again, like this summer program that we're running in partnership with Garrison Forest, I can't wait for us to be able to get that out in all the schools, even if it's for one day, if it's for a weekend, because just the energy and the different situations that people and young generations are becoming aware of. It's like, it's so fun. It's so exciting. And I'm so excited that HHH is able to do this. And again, kickstarting one of our first programs in the USA here in Baltimore. So,
well, I know I want to jump on that train too. And we're going to have to talk later on because we need to bring it in all the states here. And I'm willing to do whatever, me.
Yes.
Just tell me and I'll be there. I'll try to be there. But now we got to go into our wonderful Spotlight nonprofit organization that we do every Thursday at this tail end of the show. And like I said, me and Serena, we get so excited because we're learning so many different nonprofits that we didn't even know that was out there or even what they do. You don't think about it because that's the awareness. So we're going to bring on this wonderful, wonderful guest. His name is Charles Jones, and just read a little bit of what his organization is about. It's called the Dear Calvin Project. It's a nonprofit that creates lasting memories of falling servicemen and women. They do this by locating and contacting colleagues of the fallen, interviewing them about the fallen, and create a video testimonial tribute for the Gold Star family. That is so awesome. It's just a need to really, that they served our country, and the ones that are no longer here. We have to consistently remind the world of what they did. So I love what Charles is doing in his foundation. So I'm going to bring Charles up right now so he can give us more detail about it. Hi, Charles.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Loving the show.
Thank you. I mean, I almost lost you today because I know you were waiting for some things from me, and then you said, "Am I supposed to be coming on? Do I get a line?" I said,
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened there. I I
So,
not written down the original time I signed up for, and then like all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, it was today. So yeah, my
well, I'm
brain
glad that
checked out a long time ago. I haven't seen it in years.
Well, that just means that you're very busy. You're doing incredible things to honor the memory of people, to shed light into the world. And I understand I often sometimes forget to put things in my calendar and I screw up, but I'm happy that it still worked out. So I'm super excited to learn about you and the great work that you're doing.
yes,
Maybe you can tell us
with
about
the Dear Calvin project, yeah.
Sure. So the Dear Calvin project actually started. It wasn't meant to be a business in the beginning. I'm from Chicago. I'm a big Blackhawks fan, and I was at a Blackhawks game watching them beat down whoever they were playing, and I got a phone call from one of the guys that was in my old platoon. I enlisted in the Marines right out of high school. I went to Fallujah for 14 months, 04, 05, and I was on active duty until 2007. And then was in the reserves for a number of years after that. And I had separated by this time, and I had gotten a phone call from one of the guys that was in my platoon. His name's Dave Wilkinson, and it's the call you never want to get. It's, hey, just want to let you know that John was killed in Afghanistan. And I'm like, who's John? Because we don't use first names really. And he's like Sergeant Davis, and that guy was. We had a very complicated relationship, but he's one of the most important people that I've ever had in my life. A lot of the leadership things that I have learned, and survival combat things like that, I learned directly from him. So that was a pretty devastating blow. It was like it was losing a brother essentially, and that was awful. So a few weeks after the funeral, his wife Helena, we were all friends, had reached out to a number of us on Facebook message and asked us to write letters to their son about who John was as a Marine, because she could speak to the husband and to the father part, but she couldn't really speak to the Marine part because you kind of compartmentalize those two things. And that's a lot of who you are. So I told her I was going to do it. I absolutely meant it. And I mean, I've said I'm going to do this a lot of times in my life. I really meant that one. And I sat down to do it, and I couldn't. I sat there for 45 minutes looking at Dear Calvin on my screen, and I just couldn't think of what's right. He was 4 years old at the time. I'm like, what do I tell a 4-year-old? And I was going through a fairly dark period of time myself in my own life, and I put it down and walked away from it. And 4 years later, I was talking about John on the anniversary of his death, and just remember, oh my God, I hadn't written this letter. So I called Helena the next morning, and I'm like, look, I'm so sorry I haven't done this. I will get this to you by the end of the weekend, which I did. But while I was writing it, I really didn't think it was enough. Like, I can say a lot of things about John, on paper, but you get a lot more of how important he was, what he really meant, what our relationship really meant to me by seeing the person. So I called Helena back. I'm like, hey, do you think I should record myself talking about John or reading the letter or something? And she thought that was a good idea. And then I thought, the more people, the better the picture. And that's sort of where the whole thing came from. I had a friend who he does a lot of very high-end work for films and for commercials and stuff like that. And so he gathered a group of really high-end professionals, and I flew out all of the people that were on our first video to Atlanta. We put them in a hotel for 2 nights. I spent every dollar I had. I maxed all my credit cards. I borrowed money. And we put this film together for Calvin and his family. And honestly, I said this then, I say it now, if I never make another video again after that, I would have been totally fine with how much time, effort, and money went into it, because it was probably the best money I ever spent. But it was really neat. And when we finally had the unveiling for it, I'd hosted a golf outing here in Chicago to show the video off. And a lot of people that come up to me afterwards and were like, you really should do this for more people. But I thought it was already something. So I went online, and for 2 months, literally looking all over the internet for something like it. And there just wasn't there. And I thought that was really strange. So that's when I filed, for the organization, for Dear Calvin Project. It's under Survived Inc. That's going to be a larger thing eventually, but the Dear Calvin Project's what I'm really working on right now. So that's kind of the genesis of the whole idea.
That's incredible.
I know.
That is incredible. What I love the most about that story, and I've been hearing that a lot in the last couple of days of talking to other charities, is how one moment like that of you being asked to write, a little bit of a memoir about your friend. And although it took you time, you finally, at the right time, when it was right for you, you did it. And that one act led to you starting a nonprofit.
Yeah, I mean, and like these services that I provide, I don't charge for at all. This is all donation money. So like I funded the first one myself, which was fine. I was totally happy with that. But yeah, I raised money on behalf of this so I can give these videos, and like there's two kind of aspects to it. The videos are kind of for everybody. I'm sort of trying to build a living memorial in a sense. So that the people that have fallen, and not just just service members like police, firemen, EMTs, anybody that's dedicated themselves, their life to their community or to their country, really is where I focus. And I guess it's one of those subjects I don't think gets enough attention, and it's very easy to kind of pass over there's a lot of veteran organizations, and there should be, and I'm very grateful for all the ones that I've been a part of. But Gold Star families really have it bad because they have to move forward with, essentially a broken family, and that's tough, especially in the children. So I wanted to make sure that whatever reason, and nobody had no reason that they couldn't come and do it. So that's pretty much why I financed it. But we also give a package to the family as well, which includes handwritten and typed letters. I can't read my own handwriting. I don't expect anybody else to be able to. So I have typed copies of letters that are written from the individuals that are interviewed to the family directly. Nobody reads those. All the raw footage of the interviews. There's a lot of things that don't make the final cut, like how much I hated John when I met him. You won't hear that in the video. But, and to give an honest accounting of who it is, that's really the whole point of it, for me, is to make sure that I'm not giving a Medal of Honor citation. It's more about the real person. What were their scars? What were their shortcomings? But what were the great aspects of them too? And how did those things create a whole person? I want Calvin especially to know who John was as a human being. And a little while later, Helena had sent me this picture. She texted me a picture, and it was Calvin on a Saturday afternoon. Instead of going out and playing, he was reading the letters that were in the box, and she took a photo of it candidly. And I mean, I almost fell over like that. Really, I was welling up when I saw that picture, because that is the perfect photo of my idea of what success is for the organization, whether it's 1 or 1,000. That is the goal there. And the first mission is to make sure these people aren't forgotten, but especially for the families, and especially for their kids.
I think it's remarkable, like you said, when it comes to the Army and to our soldiers and to all of the Marines and all the heroes in the world. If we're focusing on that, we're focusing on them returning and not, having post-traumatic stress disorder, having anxiety, not knowing how to, really rehabilitate and connect back into society because of what they went through.
Yeah.
But you instead are capturing the moments of their life that made them who they are, that nobody else knows except for the other people on the team and serving together. And so, I mean, to be able to shed that light to families, I mean, I'm sure every family who gets that is absolutely blown away by what you did for them.
Well, I sure hope so. That's the goal, and I won't stop until I've got one for everybody that wants one. I don't care how many times, I don't care how much money I make doing it, whatever. That's all side of it. It's really given me a sense of purpose in my life. And I'll tell you, when I left the Marines, like, that is a lot of who you are. I identified myself as a Marine, as a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. And like, when I left the Marine Corps, I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't have that kind of purpose anymore, that drive. I wasn't in formation at, 5:30 in the morning. So it was something that really helped fill that gap for me too. And it was, and you were just talking with Kim about what you guys are doing. And there really isn't a better high than helping somebody that really needs it. And I mean, I don't know, it's an incredible thing that you guys do as well. So I'm very pleased to be speaking with you as well, as people that really take it upon themselves to try and make a positive difference in the world.
So how do people find you? And then, like you said you don't really make money. You don't charge the families money. So
Yep.
how do you get the funding to do the things that you do?
So donations, I try to do pitch competitions, but also, approaching organizations and asking for donations and things like that. And those go to the filming, they go to the travel, they go to all these things. Um, Trying to get everybody in one spot. Because if you've watched the video, there is a couple of excerpts in the video where it has us talking as a group of people. And that's a really cool part, because it shows the camaraderie. And the funny thing, like in that video, I didn't meet a single one of those people until the day that we were filming, except for one. One of them was in my old platoon, but we were all talking like old friends. I'd never met those guys before, but we all had this commonality with John and the Marines, and that's sort of how the Marine Corps in the military in general really is. It's sort of a tight knit family of people that have shared, hardship experiences, and that's how we really kind of we come together, and that's the essence of that bond, I guess. But yeah, I mean, going to the Dear Calvin Project website, there's ways to donate there. PayPal as well. There's a Dear Calvin, if that's something people choose to do. I hope so. But yeah, it's about making sure that the families get something, because they have paid already, and they have to pay every day since, so.
Well, I just want to say, Charles, first of all, I commend you for what you do. And I like what you said, because I know a lot of Marines, and they were in the same boat where, they're all, it's a Marine, you're always a Marine no matter what. When you're out, you're a Marine. And I
Always
know
eating
that.
crayons all day.
I know, and I know not to say nothing else. So I know, but they taught me well. But one thing, like you said, once they came out, they were a little bit kind of lost, because they're like, they just so used to what they were doing. And
Mm-hmm.
then to, what you created here, I mean, what basically it just came, and it was meant to be. I mean, you could tell it was meant to be, that, you created this wonderful nonprofit, and you feel like you had that purpose and meaning of life again, in
Yeah.
yourself. So I'm so glad. This is good just to see about this project, but to also, show all the other military people out there that if they are kind of maybe a little lost of where they're trying to go after they, left, that this is something that they can think about helping in the universe, different things that need help with. And just to honor the family of the person that's fallen. I mean, that's, because like you said, it's so, oof, when that call comes through and they hear that, I just wouldn't even, yeah, that would be so heartening. But then for you to sit there
Yeah.
and create this beautiful memories of that, that's just amazing.
Especially in that situation, it's like you don't even have the opportunity to see them at the bedside, and so it's really, there's a level of closure that I guess I would like to try and give the family, with that. And especially, actually, and this is something that surprised me. It makes sense now in hindsight, but with the people involved as well. Like, I mean, I'm in the first video, and you'll see me talk about, what happened when I found out and everything. I really didn't process that loss myself. Like, yeah, it was something that I had not really, I hadn't really dug down deep and dealt with. And, that plus the loss of like my kind of identity and my purpose really is what led to those darker parts in that time of my life. And, all of that being able to come from something that destructive and bad to something much more positive, and to keep going in that direction is great. And anybody that's ever transitioned out of the military, I don't care whether you admit it or not, it's tough, because you're really changing your whole life from one day to the next. And it can be very difficult to deal with, mentally, internally. But that is something also that I'm very passionate about, is helping out those people that are having tough times. I mean, I was in a very bad place for that reason at one time. So like, I try as hard as I can to make sure that nobody else has to go through that, or at least, to the extent, that maybe I or other people have had to. So, but I thank you. I do appreciate that.
Well, I just love how you admit, and that's what I've always said. Like, I feel, not always, but in like our darkest moments, and and in the saddest, most challenging times of our life, we can fall. But then something like that, like I was drawn to service work because I kind of felt like I needed an outlet. And service work, I didn't realize actually wasn't an outlet. It was like a healing benefit to me. And it actually did a lot to make me better. And so it's like you said, if anybody who's coming out of a transition from where, you know, being in the Marines or being in the Army and coming back and like your entire life in 1 minute has changed, and that can sink you. And I think for you, that was your silver lining, was to get that letter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that was, you can do a number of things in response to hardships, you know, but at the end of the day, if you don't share the paths that you've walked, no one will ever know about it. No one can ever benefit from it. So as far as you may fall, even at any given moment in your own life, you know, it's good to discuss those things, because you may be able to prevent somebody from doing the same thing. Like, and I mean, you know, you can only get so much from other people's experiences maybe, but you know, I talk about that stuff pretty openly because I recognize that if I help one person, you know, with the story of how things went for me, or with, you know, in any part of my life, then it would be worth a million times more than any of the embarrassment that might come with it. I'm not ashamed of my past. I'm not proud of a lot of it, but I'm not, you know, I don't hide behind it anymore. That's something that I've learned to kind of had to come to terms with. And you know, it's that shame that really keeps you down. And that's something that's very destructive as a, you know, as an individual. But you also find yourself uniquely suited to help others when you come out of that. Like if you've never had a drink, you'll never be able to tell someone how to stop if they can't, you know? So that's sort of the way I try to look at it, you know?
Yeah. I love what you said about that, Charles, because you're talking about that connection with the person. So that's why I always tell people, tell your stories, tell what you're going through, what you went through, because there's a lot of the people that are scared to say it, and then they think they're alone. And when they hear Charles' story or Serena's story or mine, they're like, oh, I'm not alone anymore. They dealt with some things, you know, and just to show people you can, you know, progress through that. So thank you for being vulnerable and out there and just saying, look, this is who I am. This is what we're doing. And we're just trying to help families to give those wonderful memories. Now, what I want to do, Charles, I want to play because a little clip from your YouTube part for the audience here. So just give me a second as I
absolutely
ram it up here, because I think this is be very important so they can hear your just who you're so wonderful. So let me play
That's
this.
a weird face I
My
made.
name is Charles Jones. I'm the founder of the Dear Calvin Project and Surviving. Simply put, I believe that no one is truly gone until they're forgotten. Here at the Dear Calvin Project, our job is to immortalize the memory of those that have been lost in service to this country. We do this by creating video tribute testimonials featuring in-depth interviews with people that served alongside those fallen warriors. A picture may tell 1,000 words, but here at the Dear Calvin Project, we go above and beyond the call of duty to ensure the preservation of their legacy. There is an ideal that is universal in our military training, and that is that we leave no one behind, ever. And that is one of the founding principles behind the Dear Calvin Project. We ensure, if nothing else, the delivery of their story, the preservation of their legacy, and the safe arrival of the essence of the person that we are entrusted with. It is our mission to make sure that these people are properly remembered. The most important thing to me is that we describe the whole person. It's not a Medal of Honor citation. These people have scars, emotions, issues, and we talk about all of them. Not to disrespect them, but rather to give the most honest and accurate account that we possibly can. We do this at no cost to the family. This is a nonprofit organization. These people have made the ultimate sacrifice for their families, for their communities, and for their country, and they deserve to be remembered by them all. If there is somebody you would like to nominate, if there is a friend or family member that you would like to honor, or if you have any other questions at all, please feel free to contact the Dear Calvin Project. I promise the careful handling and proper respect of anyone and everyone that we are entrusted with. Thank you for checking out the Dear Calvin Project, and I hope to speak with you soon.
I love that.
You would die with the video then, because the video is 1,000 times more emotional than that.
Yeah, wow. Go, Barbara.
I'm sorry. I know we're really emotional here, Charles. It gets us to our core. But I want to again thank you. But like we said, we always do with our guests. We always want you to leave, just for 30 seconds. Just leave something in your heart, anything, for the audience. Because like I said, this is spotlighting you too, and we want to make sure that they know what's coming and what they can do for you. So we're going to take ourselves down for 30 seconds. We'll be back.
All right. I guess really what I want to say is that remembering the people that have sacrificed themselves in the pursuit of our freedom in serving the country and the community are worthy of being remembered. And one way that we can do that is by offering these videos and these packages to the families of those people to ensure that they have a lasting account of them. So if ever there is an opportunity for anyone to donate or to help out with any of the organizations that serve Gold Star families, and specifically Dear Calvin Project, if possible, I encourage you to do that, because what you are doing is you are helping the remembrance of somebody that's really deserved it and somebody that will never get to see the benefit of that service.
And again, you speak, the way you speak, I think it's just so true and raw and authentic, and it's coming, like, you can see sincerely that this is coming from a place of true love and passion. And I'm so happy that you created this organization and that you are able to keep really heroes of our world, keep their memory alive and give families the opportunity to always look back and see the incredible human that was in their lives. And without you giving that gift, none of this is possible. So it's quite amazing that you were able to put this charity together and be able to do service for the families.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. And I'm greatly honored and very grateful to be on here as well. You guys are doing amazing work and giving people like myself a platform to come on and tell about our stories and our missions in life is really wonderful. It's tough getting a nonprofit off the ground, as I'm sure you guys know. But I really am very grateful for the opportunity to come on here and speak with you guys. It's been lovely, and you guys are, again, you are just as deserving of any praises anybody is in this area. So thank you.
Thank you, Charles, for doing such a wonderful job. And we always tell our guests too, if you want to come, we welcome you to come back on. If there's something that you're doing, something special, raise or whatever fundraising that you're doing, please come back and be another guest, because we're here to help each other. I know we're different nonprofits, but we're all together. We have the same heart.
Sure.
We got the same heart. So I feel like
you haven't heard the last of me. I'm going to bug you guys all the time.
That's cool.
You better watch out. Barbara has more energy than almost anybody I know.
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep up with her.
Let me call you and say, "Come on, Charles, come on." Well, that's good to hear. So thank you so much, Charles. Again, like I said, this is not goodbye. This is just see you soon.
Absolutely.
Soon.
Absolutely. But it's been a great pleasure. So thank you guys very much for your time and for the opportunity.
Thank you. And we'll see everybody next Thursday on Help Heal Humanity with another wonderful guest, and we'll spotlight another wonderful nonprofit. See you then. Have a wonderful week, and thank you so much for showing up today.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
My name is Serena Bufalino. I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. My career started off as a special education teacher. When my students found out that there were kids in this world that did not have the right to go to school, inspired them. The concept behind the Haiti School Building Project was a small handful of youth in Toronto would help a small handful of youth here in Haiti. The Haiti School Building Project finally opened up last year, September 2018. It has successfully been running for 7 months now, and what I have seen is nothing shy of beautiful. One person with the support of others can literally transform the planet.